I have crippling depression. I'm gay.
Hey, that's pretty good.
iDubbbz is one of the most controversial and confusing creators to ever grace YouTube. And today we're going to be telling the wild story of what happened to iDubbbz.
Greetings and salutations, my goblin army. Welcome back to another episode of iDubbbz Complain.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to more Kickstarter crap. Today the piece of crap that we're looking at is called Paintball Panda, the Bamboo Tales, your new everyday game.
iDubbbz, real name Ian Washburn, started uploading gaming videos on what became his main channel way back in 2012. He also appeared initially in small roles in videos with Filthy Frank, who we also made a separate What Happened To video that you can check out. And in those videos, he would do disgusting things and get hurt in ways that we simply cannot begin to show in this video. But eventually he became one of the three main kind of titans of Filthy Frank content, along with Frank and Max Mofo, particularly because of the Cake trilogy, which I can't even think about right now without feeling incredibly sick.
Look at all the mushrooms we have, Mario. You cannot be so sad.
It's Terminal 5.
Yes, we are in Zone 5, Mario.
Oh, is it?
But on his own, it was his Content Cop series that really catapulted him into the spotlight. In these videos, Ian would call out creators or channels that he felt were wrong-uns, you know, doing something shady, or who he just felt needed addressing down. His targets included Leafy is Here, Hannah Mojo, Fine Bros, Keemstar, and Jake Paul. Except his Jake Paul video wasn't actually about Jake Paul, it was about another controversial creator, Rice Gum.
Jake Paul, you've made a wonderful scapegoat, so I don't have to give this bit of mucus the satisfaction of having his name in the title or his face in the thumbnail.
He also released a music video for a diss track called Asian Jake Paul, okay, which featured Boy in a Band, that aged well, and also featured people like Ethan Klein and someone called PewDiePie. Must be new. The song has had tens of millions of views and also got into like one of those charts. You know how there's like a million charts these days? Like anyone can get a #1 because it's like most popular polka song in a 9-mile radius or whatever. Rice Gum responded with several videos and then iDubbbz replied again, and it went on and became increasingly less interesting, but eventually led to the possibility of a boxing match between the pair. But more on that later. Rice Gum wasn't the only feud that would emerge within the Content Cop era. Ian and Tana Mojo had a long-running feud, starting roughly when some old racist tweets were unearthed that Tana posted when she was 12, 13, and 14, respectively. Tana apologized and said, you know, that's not me anymore, I was young, blah, 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 blah. And then in December 2016, Tana tweeted iDubbbz saying he should kill himself because he uses the N-word and the R-word frequently. Tana then deleted the tweet and apologized and said that she didn't believe in kind of throwing those kinds of words around and she wouldn't do it again. But the damage was done in terms of getting iDubbbz very mad, and it instigated probably the most notorious incident in iDubbbz history. Ian decided to go to a Tana Mojo meet and greet. He snuck up during a photo session, put his arm around Tana Mojo and said the N-word. Something that Tana then later said was upsetting and distressing. She did a whole video about it. But something that people on Reddit at the time apparently thought was very funny. 2016 Reddit was far more bleak than we remember. Happily, Tana and iDubbbz were able to bury the hatchet and have been happily married for the last 10 years. No, that's not true. But iDubbbz does have a relationship with a girlfriend who became a wife, and this was the subject of some controversy because in March 2020, his girlfriend announced that she had joined a certain adult website that we cannot mention in this video. Mentioning the name of that website on social media is like saying Voldemort's name out loud. But she joined this website and people started criticizing her because that's the internet, and started attacking him and calling him a simp and all this stuff. But in his response, he said, quote, "I love my girlfriend and I'm totally fine with it. It doesn't affect me. If you were upset by me admitting this,
Then I suggest you go idolize someone else."
Then iDubbbz had a bit of a strange period. He stopped doing Content Cop, mainly because changes in YouTube's terms of service and its algorithm meant, in his words, that kind of content basically doesn't work anymore. It'll be immediately demonetized, the algorithm will bury it.
It really isn't difficult to make a commentary video. Anyone can sit down and criticize someone else, and it's it's becoming a little tired for me.
Eventually, he just ended up making videos about squirrels, and he had a series called Save the Squirrels, and he would just upload loads of videos to his channel about squirrels, and everyone was extremely confused, and they were like, what's happened to iDubbbz?
I'm getting old.
You're not. I feel that.
My interests are changing just a little bit.
He went over to try and make some documentaries. He made a whole documentary about a controversial guy named Sam Hyde, this comedian. It turns out, apparently, that Sam Hyde was also making a documentary about him in secret while he was making that documentary. Then you had these kind of dueling documentaries. That was a whole beef. But hey, remember that boxing match with rice gum that was mentioned earlier, in which I said would come back later? Kind of like Chekhov's gum. Chekhov's rice gum. Now that's writing. Well, that fight evolved into the Creator Clash event, a charity boxing match which featured a ton of creators actually trying to do proper boxing. This is quite a nice thing iDubbbz did. He said, why don't we do YouTuber boxing, but it's for charity and people are actually trying to win and it's not all fixed. Not that other matches are fixed. And, you know, we actually give it a go. And he got all kinds of cool creators like Harley from Epic Mealtime, people like that. And apparently, according to iDubbbz, they raised close to $1 million, and that was donated to charities like the American Heart Association, the Alzheimer's Association, and the Healing Horse Therapy Center. So a nice, wholesome thing there.
And it's Creator Clash 2, baby! That's right, we're back for more.
So there we have it, the complicated, checkered story of iDubbbz. And really, we've only just scratched the surface. I mean, he's done lots of pretty crazy things. And if there's some crazy things he's done that I haven't mentioned, leave them down in the comments and we can discuss, as long as they're safe for work. In the meantime, who else would you like to see us cover on What Happened To? Let us know in our TikTok comments, or you can tweet us at YouTuber News. Or I guess YouTube comments. Just find a way to do it, guys. I don't know, I'm not your dad. Till next time, I'm Medic Townsend. This is YouTuber News. Fare thee well.